Hi again, Greg Bell, the News Tribune. Happy New Year. New Year's Eve at Lumen Field. Some season ticket holder families playing ball behind us. There's actually more tackling going on there than the Seahawks had the entire game today. It's really the most damning and damaging part of today's 30-23 loss to the Steelers. The Seahawks spent up to $124.5 million between last season and this season remaking their defensive front. They used their fifth pick, a generational pick in the draft, on defense. They brought back Bobby Wagner. They changed out their entire defensive front line except for one player, Uchenna Nwosu, and he ended up getting a season-ending injury in October. They did all of that in the offseason to get better than they were last year against the run, 30th in the NFL, and to compete with San Francisco in the NFC West, who can smash mouth you along the line of scrimmage. Well, on New Year's Eve, as 2023 becomes 2024, the Seahawks are no better than they were 12 months ago. San Francisco boat raced them twice. The Seahawks are 8-8 entering Week 18, the final week of the NFL season, just like they were last year. They need to win their last game of the season and get massive help around the league to make the playoffs, just like they were last year. And they cannot stop a team that wants to run the ball and sticks with the run, just like they were last year. The Steelers came into today having seen the tape against Seattle against San Francisco 2 times, having seen the tape against Baltimore, 38-3, 200-plus yards, having seen the tape last week when Seattle went to Tennessee and escaped with a last-minute victory, yet the Titans ran for 162 yards. Mike Tomlin and his co-offensive coordinator staff today said, run the ball. And they did. Up and down the field by halftime, they had 145 yards, which is 35 more than the Steelers averaged per entire game coming in. The net effect is not just on Seattle's defense. It makes Seattle's offense have almost no margin for error and have to score almost every time they touch the ball. It makes decisions such as kicking a field goal on 4th and 5 inside the opponent's 30-yard line, as Pete Carroll did in the second half, to make it 24-20. It makes you think, is this the last time they're going to have a chance to tie the game? The answer to that was yes, because Geno Smith fumbled on a backside Nick Herbig hit. Smith never saw Herbig, of course, on his blind side, who soundly beat first-round pick Charles Cross, the left tackle, for the game-deciding, game-turning sack inside the Seahawks' own 20-yard line. Steelers turned that into a clinching field goal for a 2-score game with 7 minutes left, and that was that. But the bigger picture here is it really better for the Seahawks to make the playoffs? Or would it be more shaking to the foundation of the franchise and the Pete Carroll and John Schneider's thinking to miss the playoffs for only the 3rd time in 12 years and realize that they have to start all over again, especially on defense? Because no matter what Geno Smith does and DK Metcalf do and Kenneth Walker does and Tyler Lockett do, if they can't tackle anyone on defense, it just doesn't matter. And when you are getting the ball for less than half the game, and when you are getting 14 plays and 10-play drives against you that last half of quarters, you have to score almost every time you have the ball, and no team in the NFL, not even the 49ers or the Miami Dolphins or the Baltimore Ravens, do that. That really is the essence of what's going on here. Yeah, there's all kinds of permutations. I have it in the News Tribune and all kinds of things I'll write about this week in the Seahawks remote chances to make the playoffs. But the bottom line is they blew their destiny today. Their playoff fortunes were in their own hands. They blew that today because they couldn't do the most fundamental thing in football, and that's tackle. I asked Pete Carroll after the game, what can you do that you already haven't done in tackling? And he kind of looked at me and paused for almost felt like a minute before he said, our mindset has to change. And it's time and again we have to do the tackling better, but our mindset about it has to change. Well, if their mindset has to change when you need just 2 wins in the last 2 games to make the playoffs and you don't come in with the right mindset, there isn't a whole lot of team or coach or anybody else can do to get the players to change to fix that. It's New Year's Eve. I'm going to get out of here so you can get out of here too. Happy New Year to you. All my coverage is at thenewstribune.com. On Twitter at GBellSeattle. I'm going to catch a plane in the morning and watch the Washington Huskies and the Texas Longhorns in the Sugar Bowl at the Superdome in New Orleans. My coverage of the News Tribune will be all New Year's Day and night and Tuesday at the News Tribune and at GBellSeattle. As always, thanks for watching.